This is my family home. It was constructed 2 years ago after knocking down our old house that was here. I live here with my mum, dad, sister, and cousin, and we're expecting a guest. My 78-year-old grandmother, Violet, will be living with us for exactly a year. She has needs that are a little bit different from ours. You see, she has arthritis, and after using various walking aids for many years, she is now mainly confined to her wheelchair. With her arrival, I want to ask the question, how can my grandmother's stay become a catalyst for improving this house, so it both promotes comfort and independence for her, but also creates a better environment for the future of the people already living here? Our home is large, but only a very small portion of it is used in the day-to-day, with a lot of areas waiting for something more. It makes me wonder, what is the future of this home when we grow up and the family dynamic changes in the coming years? My home is adorned with artwork that reflect our Sri Lankan background, but this is not represented formally. Because of the tropical climate, many homes in Sri Lanka have gardens that extend indoors. My family dedicate much of their time to the garden, and maintaining it is part of the day-to-day ritual, so this aspect became the driving force for the modification. This is what the house currently looks like. It has a lot of doubling up of spaces, with 3 different living areas, 2 studies, and 5 bedrooms, all with their own ensuite. If the areas that are currently unused are cut away and the staircase is moved, it begins to look a lot more like this, where the garden space becomes a core facilitator of both separating space but also allowing for moments of interactions between the house, which has been subdivided into 3 different residences for the future. The house will begin to look like this from the outside, and internally, there will be one dwelling on the ground floor where my grandma will mainly occupy, and my parents can take over after her departure. A dwelling on the top floor, and one which combines the existing upstairs master bedroom and converts the garage into a living space. The separate dwellings all have a shared entrance hall, which has a living room, garden, and laundry. Everyone can cross paths and come together at this entrance. And the main shared garden also becomes a space to escape to and spend time together, even with those upstairs. The 2 covered garden spaces surround the downstairs bedroom, where my grandma will be staying. So for the days she feels too sore or too tired to leave her room, she can still feel like she's outside. And for the days that she is feeling good, she can participate in the gardening that is constantly going on. The presence of greenery and lightness is emphasized in spaces where people come together, like the kitchen, where the skylights allow for a glimpse into upstairs. With the conversion of the single dwelling into multiple, the privateness of the property line can start to blur, so there can be interaction with surrounding neighbours. Many of the houses in my block have changed like mine, undergoing knockdown rebuilds. There have been 36 in total within the last 8 years. This got me wondering, how can the general neighbourhood change if all these large homes eventually transition into multi-generational homes? Within my block, there is a school, a nursing home, the local community centre, and a large reserve. Many people travel to these sites by car, so the road can get very busy, but many people also walk the hilly streets. There is no place to rest when travelling along the confines of the footpath, which can make it an intimidating space for certain groups of people, like the elderly. If each multi-generational dwelling had a secondary entrance that tore down the fence to create a semi-public space, and the nature street became a heavily planted area, the sidewalk becomes a lot more accessible with those with difficulty moving for a long time. It also creates an area for interaction between the household and the street. I decided to test what this might look like in front of my house, getting my family to help me with the build. The prototype uses the existing fence to support a shaded seating area with a pot plant table. This creates a place for passers-by to stop and rest, as well as interact with people attending to their plants, making the street a more beautiful and engaging space through gardening.